let's dive right into this. Oh, thank God it's working. The internet went out for like 45 minutes. Fine a freaking Lee. Holy shit. Alright, before we get into that, sorry I'm late. Yeah, I really need to get them out here to fix this internet. It's true. Let's just cut to the chase. We're getting right to the heart of the matter. If you're new here, we are discussing Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes, leaving the Walking Dead TV show in season 9, and it's just true. Okay, it's official now. For anyone who had any doubts, I mean, obviously there's always a possibility something could happen behind the scenes and they could work things out and he can stay for another season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, who knows, but it's definitely true. And we know this 2 ways. One, they didn't come out and deny it. In any other situation when something hit the fan, like, perfect example, remember the Morse code? The internet went nuts and everyone said, oh my God, Daryl was like blinking Morse code or some shit to Rick, which was ridiculous. Scott Gimple came out within 24 hours and was like, calm down guys, that's not it. You know, that's a small thing. For something big, they would come right out. I mean, the AMC would say something, they would say something on Twitter, they would come out and say something. So that's evidence number 1. They haven't said a word, they're keeping it hush hush. Evidence number 2 is some actors have been saying things like, you know, we wish Andy well, yada yada yada. I believe it was Xander Berkeley. If I could pull it up on Twitter, yeah, right here. Someone sent me this. Take a look at this. Xander Berkeley. I didn't verify if you know, he sent this tweet. I'll verify it. We don't really need it because we have other evidence. But he says, I concur. I refuse to believe the Walking Dead fans everywhere won't give it up to the incredible Andrew Lincoln to move his career forward in a new direction, as well as trust these amazing Walking Dead writers to do the same with their storylines. So we have Xander Berkeley, you know, kind of sort of acknowledging it. And the other big evidence, we have this article from the Hollywood Reporter. Now I'm going to cut my camera off. I know you want to see my beautiful mug. I'll be back. In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Anyway, in this article, it says something that's extremely important. In the entertainment industry, let's just, you know, to keep it general, people working in the entertainment industry have friends of friends, and they hear things that are right from certain sources, like someone in The Walking Dead, either a producer or an actor or a friend of Andrew Lincoln, some shit like that. Right here it says oh, did I pass it? Yeah, I passed it. Right here. Rick Grimes, since the show's premiere, blah, 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 will exit the AMC zombie drama in its upcoming 9th season. Sources confirmed to The Hollywood Reporter. Now, this is very important because The Hollywood Reporter isn't a fluff website like comicbook.com. Comicbook.com is a clickbait whore. You can never trust them. However, sources from Collider, comicbook.com, which I'm sure they probably just took sources from someone else. The Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Weekly, these are multiple, and I mean multiple, established news, entertainment news organizations that have checked with their own personal sources and verified this, that yes, in fact, Andrew Lincoln is leaving The Walking Dead in season 9. And Maggie, you know what? Let's read a bit of this article, because it seems to be a little more confident, because others are saying like, yeah, Maggie is signed on maybe for 6, but just read this because it doesn't sound good. You let me know what you think. We'll check comments in a minute. So it says, co-star Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl, is in the midst of negotiating a rich new deal that will pay him more than $20 million, as he will become the new #1 on the call sheet. Real quick, I just want to interject here. What the flying fuck, AMC? All these problems with the budget, $20 million is what? Like 1/3 of the budget for the whole season? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like they're paying him the budget. I'm saying like this is outside of the episode budget. The budget is for the filming and yada yada yada. But I'm assuming this is in addition to whatever they use filming it. You know, I hope they don't cut the budget in order to make this work. But think about it. I think the episodes run what, as far as we know, like 3.2 or 3.4 million per episode. It may be even less now. So let's just say a flat 3. What is that? 30 million. We got 16 episodes. So 32. 30 million. Yeah. What? Like that is like a whole chunk of what the budget is for filming the show for a whole season. They're just like, listen, we're in damage control. Daryl, we need a fan favorite to definitely stick around to help us out with this. That seems outrageous. Did I do that right? So there's 10 episodes. That's 30. Yeah. And then, what did I say? 3 billion. So that's, 9 and 9, 18. I think I screwed that up, but it's like 50. Let's just say 50 million. I think I screwed that up. 50 million a season. Yeah. Did I do that right? So about 1/3, because it's like 3.2, 3.4. Anyway, back to the article where it says, sources say Lincoln will be phased out in season 9 in a fashion similar to co-star Lauren Cohan, who will film only 6 episodes of the series. Cohan, who plays Maggie, opted to exit the highly rated AMC drama and booked the lead in ABC's Whiskey Cavalier after her efforts to renegotiate a new deal to stay on The Walking Dead went south. After ABC picked up Whiskey Cavalier 2 series for a mid-season bow, it closed the door on Cohan's full-time return to the series. Even if she had closed a new deal, AMC declined comment. Lincoln's decision to leave comes as a major shock for the franchise, which ranks as one of the top dramas. I don't think there's anything else to pull from this. And yeah, Rick is still going on in the comic, they say. Losing Lincoln comes as The Walking Dead has always taken a remix approach. Yeah, you guys can read this article. It is from the Hollywood Reporter if you want to Google it. And we'll probably skim through some of this or discuss some of this coming up in a video. But sources note that contracts for Lincoln and Reedus were up after Season 8. Unlike in the past, AMC was slow to announce a Season 9 renewal as the series was negotiating a larger pact with now former showrunner Scott M. Gimple. Reedus and Lincoln closed new deals at the time to return for Season 9, with the former now looking to cash in given the latter's pending departure. Sources say Reedus has already begun work on Season 9 in Atlanta as he negotiates his new pact, which, while it isn't a done deal, is said to be worth north of $20 million. And so, so news that Lincoln is leaving work. Employees reinvent. Gimple said, "We knew for a long time that Season 8 was, in many ways, the end of a chapter of the show." This is important because we're going to talk about something important about Gimple in a second. The differences that people will be seeing in Season 9 and beyond are going to be pronounced. It's going to be a very different show with characters handling very different issues, challenges and threats that we've seen before. Than we've seen before. These characters will be different in a lot of ways. Alright, so, yeah, let's turn this back on. I'm going to pop out the chat and see what you guys are talking about here. Hopefully the mic was on and the sound was clear, because imagine if I popped the chat up and it said, I was reading, Ronnie, there's no mic, there's no sound. Holy hell. I can see the mic thing, so we're good. Anyway, about Gimple, here's the thing. And then we're going to go into some of your questions. Here's the thing. I'm starting to really believe that this was known a while ago. Maybe not all of it, but I'm starting to really believe that a lot of it was known. Known to Andrew Lincoln, known to Scott Gimple, and I do believe Scott's new job as chief content officer, I believe that's what it's called, is in a way to handle things like this, to handle where they go next with The Walking Dead, the next stage of The Walking Dead, to bow out with the main show. Now, not just end the main show. AMC will never do that, again, because it's a money issue. The Walking Dead makes AMC money. Fear the Walking Dead makes AMC money. It's not as hot as it was. Like, for example, Fortnite on gaming, it is blowing up. In 2 years, people are going to move on to something else. And I know everyone says that every time something's hot, people act like it'll never cool off. Everything cools off. And then they might rise again, like Star Wars is a perfect example. It was hot, and then they started coming back out, and it cooled off, and then it came out again, and it was hot, and then it cooled off, and then they came back out with the new stuff, and now it's cooling off again. It took like a dive bomb, but nothing stays, you know what I mean, out 100%. So even though The Walking Dead is not what it was in season 3, 4, as far as like the hype and the activity and the ratings, season 4, 5, it still is making them money. It's still making them a lot of money. Not only making them money, it's keeping them relevant. And this is an important thing for everyone thinking AMC is going to, close this out or give it to HBO or because I see a ton of people saying The Walking Dead is dead and done. I'm not watching after Rick is gone. And I understand your frustrations, absolutely, and I get it. In a way, Fortnite is cooling off. But the thing with AMC is, who here, right, has paid when did AMC become relevant, right? Because of The Walking Dead. I mean, there's other shows, Mad Men, you can say, contributed, Breaking Bad contributed, but keep in mind, again, they own The Walking Dead. Huge difference. We've talked about this before. I don't mean to compare shows. It's property. It's the brand. They own The Walking Dead. Massive difference. When they want you to watch their other shows, Into the Badlands, The Terror, again, they may be good shows, they may be bad shows. You know, I didn't watch either or, but they may be good, they may be bad. What do? They put it before Talking Dead. They put it right after The Walking Dead. They put The Walking Dead trailers in the first, 20 minutes of the Badlands. The Walking Dead, in a huge way, keeps AMC relevant, and it is making AMC what it is compared to what it used to be. AMC back in the day used to just show old movies. That's what it was, like American modern classics or some shit like that. Before they were the almighty cunts, they were American modern classics. Is that what it was? Some shit like that. So The Walking Dead is here to stay. Even if it's getting 2 million, 3 million, and it might drop to those numbers with this stunt with Rick leaving and everything. It might drop to those numbers. It's going to be around. Absolutely. It's not going anywhere. But that's the thing I see the most. I read a shitload of your comments in the previous 2 videos, and a lot of fans are in the negative spectrum about how they feel about this. They think it is going to be a bad thing, and absolutely it is. I know for casual fans, it's over. I've talked to a number, even family members, who were like, what's with that headline? Is that ain't real, right? And once I told them, yeah, it's probably real, they were like, yeah, I'm done with it. Like, those are casual viewers. Those are ratings. And imagine if I took 10 people I know in real life, and 8 of them, and when I say like that, they're done with it. They're not like active online. They don't even watch my videos, I don't think, right? They're done. When I say that, like, they are done. If you just polled just those 8, I'm sorry, just those 10, 8 of them are done. And when I say they're done, like, they're done. This is no bullshit. It's not like a fan going on Twitter being like, oh, fuck this AMC, I'm never watching you again. But in reality, they'll watch them. A lot of us, I'm sure, will say that and then still watch, at least out of curiosity at first. And if we like it, we'll stick. If we don't, we'll bounce. But just do that little quick poll. That's 80% gone, the casual viewers. And those are important ratings. That's the difference between pulling in, 10 13 million viewers and 20 million. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people forget. Not everyone who views is a hardcore fan. You know what I'm saying? Or I think there's different version of fans. We are an active online. We're part of the active online fan base. We don't just watch it. We participate. We go to cons. We buy collectibles. We discuss the show amongst a community online and in real life. You know what I mean? We are part of that active fan base. So when you see so many people being like, it doesn't work for me, that's the end of it, yada, yada, yada. Like, this is going to hit The Walking Dead hard. I mean, this is going to be probably the biggest change ever. Obviously, it's Rick Grimes. In my opinion, and I'll shut up and we'll get into your questions, I don't mean it like that. And if fine, I'll get to you guys. And you're like, fuck guys, just calm down. But in my opinion, what was I talking about? The Walking Dead is over the minute Rick either dies or they pull some bullshit and have him like written off, which we'll get into why they can't do that. They have to kill him off, I believe, unless it would be a huge mistake to just write him off. But saying that, for me, it's dead. 100%. It's dead. It's those days are gone. But I will look for new days, new show. What's coming next. If they want to keep it as The Walking Dead and have Daryl Dixon on, for me, and I still stand by what I said before, if you kill Rick and it's not right with the story, the whole show's done. There's no point in watching. For me, that is true. When Rick is gone, that's my Walking Dead, the original series, from season 1 with the end of Rick Grimes. That's it. Now, I'll continue to watch, obviously, because we're going to review it, because I do want to give them a chance. I don't want to just turn around and say yada, yada, yada. I want to give it a shot and see where it goes. If not for anything, out of sheer curiosity at what the hell could it do? What would a world in The Walking Dead on the main show be like without Rick? You know what I mean? The curiosity alone is going to keep me hooked. At least for a few episodes. But I will always, I have a feeling, look at that original. Like, when I go back to rewatch The Walking Dead, it will be that as a complete, series. When Rick shoots the little teddy bear zombie, which, fuck, are zombies picking up stuffed animals for? Damn it, Frank Darabont. So much great shit mixed in with not so much, but some really stupid shit. Anyway, yeah, that's it for me. That is it. And I do prefer if they do a soft, not a soft reboot of sorts, but do a spin-off where end this with Rick, right? And then in the next season, just start fresh with The Walking Dead Season 1 following Daryl Dixon. Even call it The Dicks. The Walking Dicks. The Walking Dead Dicks. That's it. Okay? D-I-X. And then do Season 1 and follow right from there, right? And just keep it its own little short and contained. Not short and contained, but you get what I'm saying. So, I think a lot of people were asking why I wasn't, like, fuming. You know what? Yesterday, I believe I was in denial. I'm still partially in denial until AMC or someone else. You can't recast Rick. There's no way in hell. I know you said you're joking. It's not going to happen. But I'm still in partial denial. It's just I can't imagine the original show without Rick Grimes. It's just mind-boggling. And it has to be something. But with Scott Gimple and the new position and how they were dealing and negotiating with the contracts back then in season 8, they knew this was coming. So Scott's bump up, Angela Kang going to showrunner, like, this is all connected. Anyone who doesn't think that's all connected, I'm sorry, but you're nuts. It is all connected 110%. That's them getting everything lined up in a position for Scott Gimple to oversee the franchise, because this is a big move. You know what I mean? You need to put someone in a position to oversee the franchise like that, because if this tanks, and I do believe I strongly believe Scott Gimple's new role is partly due to damage control. If the main show tanks, what else can we do? Because again, keep in mind, AMC owns The Walking Dead. You know, that's their moneymaker. So they want to make sure that the franchise is going to live on, even if the original show bombs out or dies out. So let's dive into some super chats, and then we'll go into. But yeah, a part of me is, to be honest, you know, because a lot of people are asking why I wasn't furious. A part of me over the past few seasons has been a little drained over certain decisions in the storytelling, some of the dialogue, the difference between how The Walking Dead felt in the beginning to how it felt around now. And again, I put a lot of blame on the budget. The budget is half the fucking size of what it should be at the very least. You know what I'm saying? If they're making, what? I forget what they said, but they're making like, you know, 50 million an episode or whatever profit, whatever the fuck they said. Think about that. The budget is only like 3 million, 4 million, some shit like that. Verified. Definitely under 4. But anyway, I put a lot of blame on the budget. But we got Dude Guys with a $5 super chat support. Thank you very much for that support. I just don't understand how The Walking Dead has managed to keep being disappointing. It's like they don't learn. We're losing Carl, Maggie, and Rick. And yeah, that's the rough part. And there's even news today that we might be losing Michonne. Which, guys, keep in mind, for everyone going, oh, no way, never. If they're going to Daryl, that means this might be bigger than just Rick and Maggie. It might be Michonne. It might be Carol. If they're going to Daryl being like, listen, man, everyone else is flaky. You know, we don't know how long we can keep everyone else on. As far as, like, you know, characters who have the bigger fan bases in the show, you are the one that could hold it down, be the anchor, the biggest one to hold the anchor. Because I think it would be a ton. No, I think Carol's got some rock solid fans, you know, but I think Daryl might have her beat by a bit. So he might be the biggest one, fan-wise, fan base-wise, once Rick leaves, you know. Low Key No Pressure with a $5 super chat. The Walking Dead is not dead. AMC's The Walking Dead is dead. My heart is broke. Oh, yeah. I see what you did there. Ronnie, I can't even remind you of how much of a queen Alicia is. I'm dead. Alan Hannigan with a $10 super chat. The only reasonable way to do this, heavy focus on Negan, Daryl, Carol, and Jesus. Maybe Tara. End of mid-season or season is the group going to the Commonwealth. They can't do end of mid-season. That's way too fast. You would have to do the fair, the setup with the new beginning, Negan in jail, Magna and all them, and then the Whispers, and then kill the Whispers, all in 8 episodes. There's no way. There's no possible way. Yeah, there's just no way for them to get through that much storyline. Without it, especially feeling, you know, crazy congested and rushed. Eminem 3DG Tyler with a $10 super chat. As a huge Norman Reedus fan, I hope he does well and the story can remain interesting with him in the lead role, but losing Andrew Lincoln hurts like a death in the family. Thank you very much for that super chat support. And I feel you on this. Big fan of Norman, and I do hope it does well for him and it is successful. And they can like revitalize the show in a different way, because again, I think there's an end point when Rick leaves, you know, or when he's killed off, that they need to make very clear. Like, okay, it's not going to be a new series, it's not going to be a spin-off, but this is a new version. This is a highly remixed, something more original than it is, you know, stuff from the comic, and then open up that world and do your own thing, because now you'll just be chasing your tail trying to figure out who's going to fill Rick's shoes, you know? And Daryl won't without breaking character. You get what I'm saying? Dude Guys with a $2 super chat. Rick, Maggie, Carl are important in the Whisperer War. Yes, they definitely are. All right. But damn, I still am in denial. I'm like, what? I think if it was like season 12, I think I would be like, oh yeah, I saw this coming, But 9, even 10, I would probably start being like, yeah, I could see it. But the new beginning, oh my God, really? I don't know. We better get the Whispers. If we don't get the Whispers, I tell you what, losing Rick and then not getting the Whispers. Besides, if we don't get the Whispers, what else could they do? Unless they go straight to the Commonwealth and they're not doing the Whispers. But if they don't, damn, I tell you what, I don't know, that's rough. I might not make that declaration, but if they don't do the Whispers, I might be done. No Rick and no Whispers, I might bow out. I might have to vote with my wallet, so to speak, on that one, because I think that's a horrible choice. The Whisperers are perfect villains for TV, for that new creepy, different, refreshing, because this, again, different, brought to the TV different than in the comic, but it's definitely new and refreshing compared to what we had before. These are like human territorial creatures. You know what I'm saying? Which is you could look at the terminus as being creatures, whatever, but this is like a savage tribe where you can set up this creepy, oh my God, it has so much potential. One and only Dave says, until I hear it from the horse's mouth, it's up in the air. I feel you. I want to do that the same way, but like this, I would be shocked if they come out and they say, oh, that wasn't true. A part of me would still believe they, negotiated a new deal because they seen the backlash already. But at this point in time, like, it's true. It's true. We have multiple sources now, at least half a dozen different sources confirming this. Half a dozen different sources confirming this. That is crazy. The shit's gotta be real. Yeah, I want old Daryl back too. I want seasons, 1, 2, and 3 Daryl back. So is Negan still gonna be in the story? Yeah, he still should be in the story. Tara's the new leader. I don't know. Blake Ellis said, how can anyone else possibly carry the show? Even the name Rick Grimes is just iconic. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And that's another thing is Unknown Echo says acting range 10 times more than Norman. And that's going to be a difficult thing because what we've gotten story-wise from Rick, and Andrew Lincoln is such a powerful and incredible actor, it's captivating. When he's going through an emotional moment, my God, he makes you feel it. You know what I mean? His eyes alone come through the TV and rapes your soul and makes you sad. You know what I'm saying? It's incredibly powerful, charismatic. I mean, fucking hell. They haven't done anything close like that with Daryl. He had a moment losing his brother. He had a sad moment. I didn't find anything sad with the Beth. I found it tragic, but not sad. But he only had that one moment where it was like, oh, that's devastating. But Andrew Lincoln has had repeated moments with Rick Grimes where, man, it just ripped out your guts through your asshole. There's just, losing that is going to be tough. I mean, going to be tough. There's so many times where, even when the writing would frustrate me a little bit, or this, that, and a third, just knowing we were getting Rick in an episode lifted my spirits. You know what I'm saying? Just know, like, that's going to be gone. You know what I mean? the powerful scenes, the powerful speeches from this character, which are huge and almost irreplaceable. No one's completely irreplaceable, but Rick is damn fucking close. For a Rick Grimes, you're never going to replace him. Not in our generation. Some other generation can have a new Rick Grimes, sure, and they'll love it, sure. Not my Han Solo. All right. Wait, right. As soon as I read AMC's Instagram post about Andrew Lincoln leaving, I thought it was a joke. I even looked at my calendar like it was April Fool's or something. I know this sounds stupid. It sounds like an April Fool's joke, All right, we have Air22 with a $5 super chat support. Thank you very much for that support, keeping the channel alive. Is Andrew Lincoln, a.k.a. Rick Grimes, really leaving, like really already confirmed by AMC or Andrew or Skynet? Listen, again, it's not confirmed by AMC, and they'll likely wait for a specific time to confirm that, depending on how much push they get from the fans. They might be rushed to do it sooner rather than later now because it's leaked. But enough sources have come out and confirmed it that unofficially it's confirmed, Chris with a $5 super chat support. How soon do you think they kill off or write Rick off when the show picks back up for season 9? Well, this is what I don't understand is they keep saying 6 episodes, which I'm in complete denial about that. I still think Maggie is 6 episodes and they got it wrong and they are repeating the wrong thing about Rick. It can't be 6 episodes with Rick. It just can't be. That would be absolutely asinine. I mean, it's ridiculous to think he's leaving in the new beginning, the fresh start. You know what I mean? But to have 6 episodes and then be gone, it just doesn't make any damn sense at all. So I am at a complete loss at when Rick can get killed off. And I say killed off because I know a lot of people were messaging me saying, hey, Ronnie, can't they, if they're going to make Norman the lead, can't they just take Norman Reedus and have him go out on the road and then we follow Norman? I got a lot of people asking that, and it's just, and I don't want to sound cocky or like a know-it-all, but trust me, I know this. That's simply impossible. That would be worse as far as fan outrage than killing him. Views would not just plummet. People would be refunding their views. It would be that bad. They would be a negative views if they did that. Why? Because imagine following these characters in this group for 8 seasons, and then all of a sudden one character leaves and we follow him after. And keep in mind, we are the active online fan base. We know this, but the casual fan base is 10 times bigger than we are. The casual watching on TV, doesn't come on the internet, watch YouTube videos, maybe reads a headline or two, 10 times bigger than we are. They're not going to know that we're not catching back. They're going to be like, wait a minute, Rick and gang are alive and we're never going to go back and see what they're doing? That is asinine. I mean, that would blow up in their face like crazy. That would never work, not in a million years. Because keep in mind, you'd have that massive part of the fan base that would be like, oh my God, Daryl's leaving. Okay, what are we going to have a split storyline in a while and yada, yada, yada. We follow Norman. 1 episode goes by, 2 episodes go by. Next thing you know, fans are just starting to get, annoyed and irritated what's going on. And then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And then next thing you know, fans are just fed up. When are we going to see Rick and gang again? Yada, yada, yada. It would be a disaster. It would probably be the biggest, disaster in TV history on a TV show like that. And I still stand by their stunt with the cliffhanger being one of the biggest mistakes in TV history. And I still stand by that because, not just because, but ever since then, things have been seeming like it's going downhill, That's perspective, but... Mellow Drain with a $5 super chat support. Thank you very much for that support. Daryl's reaction to Merle was tragic and on point, though. Yeah. Yep. He only had that one. I think that's what I was getting at. He only had that one moment with Rick Grimes, we're getting those moments every season. You know, every few episodes we get something powerful, emotional performance that sucks us in. They would have to do something like that with Daryl or get other characters. You know, get those emotional connections going again. All right, let's see. Mr. Midnight said Lee and Clementine from the Telltale Walking Dead game could carry the show. They're Telltale and Skybound characters. The AMC don't own the rights to them. Not yet. I believe the way it might work is if Kirkman puts them in the comic, they'll become TV characters. I believe that's the way this kind of works. But for right now, they don't have the rights to use them. And I don't even know what kind of deal they made with Telltale. Like, I don't know if Telltale is in partnership with the rights to Lee and Clementine. I don't know how that really works, because I do know in a comic book, if you create a character in someone else's comic, you have the rights to that character, which, in my opinion, is fucking retarded. But fuck it, I guess. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But and I'm not just saying, because for me, like, I'm the only one ever writing my comic. When I die, Doomsday Kingdom dies, unless I leave like a shit ton of scripts laying around. But for example, Todd McFarlane wrote Spawn, and then he let other writers write the story, and another writer created an Angela character. And in my opinion, when I read it, I was just simply, he created the world, you created a character, so what? You don't own that. But a court came and said, no, the guy who created the character owns it, you know. Which I thought, that is so dumb. It's your world, you know? How can someone own... That would be like me, you know, creating a fucking, you know, Mickey Mouse cousin, and I own that? I've never had anything to do with that. And then they made me a right... It gets a little tricky, so I don't know the specifics, legality-wise. All right, Godzilla2472 with a $5 super chat support. It's official. The Walking Dead is dead. When Rick dies, I'm done. There is no way I'm watching a show where a shit character like Daryl is the lead. Ouch. You're not even curious at all. You won't even watch one episode. I could never do that. I'd have to just see where they went. Even if I was downright furious, my curiosity would not leave me alone to see where do you go if you kill Rick Grimes? I have to know. What were you thinking? You know? What direction did you take? C. Newton with a $20 super chat support. Thank you very much for hooking it up. LVSAJM Clean. I messed up your name. With a $10 super chat support. If Maggie is leaving, does she lose the baby? ? I can't see how the show is going to go on without Rick. I love Daryl, but for me, The Walking Dead is Rick Grimes. I'll keep watching, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's absolutely gonna be hard. Here's the question: if Rick is gone, does Judith live on? You know what I mean? Judith is still alive. Will Judith Grimes stay alive in the world of The Walking Dead without Rick? Is that going to be the way to kind of keep a Grimes legacy? Just kind of having Judith there until maybe the storyline... Because if I'm AMC and I'm really thinking long term, I'd keep Judith around until we can get, you know, until the timeline moves up where we can get a young, you know, talented actress to take up the legacy of, you know, Judith Grimes. That would be absolutely perfect. You would pull some fans in because of the legacy of the Grimes, you know, the Grimes character. Judith, in my opinion, if they're getting rid of Rick Grimes, Judith is a gold mine just because of that legacy. You know what I mean? You need to get a very talented actress, though, and I mean talented, because if there's no charisma, if there's no talent, if there's no emotional connection, it's going to flop and flop hard. No one will give a shit after a certain point. Now, when it comes to Maggie, another good question. Does Maggie lose the baby? Is there a baby? What's even the point of having the pregnancy storyline now? A part of the pregnancy storyline, especially in the comic book, was Maggie giving birth to a child, and she refuses to let that child live in a world where the man who killed the child's father is running shit. You know what I mean? That was a big thing. That and revenge, obviously. Stone Cold revenge. So what do you do now? What is the point of that storyline? What is the point to any of this? We get so much talk from the Walking Dead camp about how they write the story so it flows forward and everything complements each other and yada yada yada. What is the point then of I don't know. And again, it depends on how they wrap it up. There's always a way to write a good story. It depends on they capitalize on it and what story they give us. Chris with a $3 super chat. Do you see Negan's character changing at all? Redemption wise, yeah, I could see them, especially with the Jeffrey Dean Morgan as an actor. They could definitely go a far greater redemption route with him than they can with Negan in the comic, I believe, because you get that charisma, the emotional side of Jeffrey Dean Morgan portrayed on screen. Mega Dr. Dre with a $5 super chat. Rick and Maggie both signed 6-episode contracts, so I guess they are probably both going to die in the first half of the season. Sucks balls. And that's another curious thing is, if they did have 6, that would mean that, the first 6 or some of the 6, they could both be missing in episode 2, so they'd be in 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But the point is, if they're only in for 6, and if it is the first 6 or the first 7 missing 1 episode, or the first 8 and they're not in 2 of the episodes, which is likely the way they film, will they both die together? Will Maggie and Rick get taken out together? Will 2 community leaders get taken out at the same time? Again, by the Whisperers, possibly they're the only villain that we know of based off the comic book coming up. Godzilla with a $2 super chat. Telltale game takes place in the comic universe only. Yes, that is true. However, with the rights of the characters, they could pull the characters from the comic universe and recreate, their own TV version of Clem and Lee. Again, if they were in the comic. That's what I meant to clarify that. But yeah, the Clem and Telltale in the comic would remain separate from whatever they bring to the screen. That would be the TV version. Like Carol. Carol's from the comic, but she's different on the show. Well, all of them really are. It's 2 different universes. Godzilla 2472. If Norman Reedus doesn't start putting effort into his acting again, I know it will suck. They're having to kill off Rick in Rick's part of the story. Yeah, it's... My God, I still don't know. My brain runs circles around what the hell's going on. Melon Drain with a $5 super chat. If The Walking Dead had the GOT structure, 10 episodes plus 1 hour each episode, this show would be on a totally different level. Let's see. Part of that I do disagree with. I do think 13 is a good solid number for The Walking Dead and for the type of stories they tell. I do think 13 is absolutely a solid number. The point though is, I find a hard time expressing this, and I don't know why. It seems simple, but if you have the same writers and they're writing 10 episodes or 16 episodes, the same writer's going to give you the same quality, whether it's 10 or 16. You know what I mean? You're not going to take, 5 writers, and they're not going to give you better work by doing less episodes. It just doesn't work that way. It just flat out doesn't work that way. Those writers will give you the same quality in 10 episodes than they would in 16. You know what the difference is? You probably wouldn't get the garbage people. Like let's say season 8, for example. If they had 10 episodes or 13 episodes, they probably would have taken out the garbage people. You still have the same season minus the garbage people. That's probably the best way I can put it. That's how I view it. I know a lot of people feel that they should have shorter, but also keep in mind with that, the budget would probably take a hit because now they're not making money. They're making a lot less off the 6 episodes you cut off, instead of pulling in, let's say they make $40 million per episode profit, straight profit from ads. You'd be taking almost half of that profit away, taking out the 6 episodes. You know what I mean? It's more like, what is it, like 3/4 of that profit? No, you know what I mean. But I do believe, me personally, I do believe a 13, episode season is solid for the story they tell in The Walking Dead. All right. Prickle Rick says, plus they just built the windmill and they said in court they will be using it for the next 3 years. Well, yeah, this is the thing. AMC is not letting go of The Walking Dead. They're going to come out with this show, the companion / spin-off, books, movies, games. They are going to come out with new stuff to keep this going because it's making them money. You know what I mean? So yes, the windmill will be there for a couple years. And AMC doesn't have time to play around with what's going to stay and what's not going to stay. They can't go, well, we need the windmill there, but our contract's not done. No, this is a part of the business. You know, it's a part of the expenses. They can write it off on the taxes. It gets evened out at the end of the day. So whether the whole thing could collapse, they're putting the windmill in. And when they put the windmill in, they need to get the permits or whatever for a couple years and show that they're going to da-da-da. That's happening no matter what. The windmill matters not. Because the whole series could collapse tomorrow. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. Because they need the windmill in there as if the show's going to go on. You get what I'm saying? Crazy Rick Rhymes with a $7.99 super chat. Hi Ronnie, love your channel. The show is born and dies with Rick for me. P.S. Thanks for recently sharing my Maggie Governor edit. Peace, bro. Thank you very much for the support. And yeah, that Maggie Governor edit was funny. L versus A, J, M clean. Did I say that right? $5 super chat. If Maggie is leaving, who do you think could be a good leader for the Hilltop? Well, they said they're giving Enid more, stuff. But I think some articles might be reading into that a little too much because she didn't have much at all in season 8. So even if they give her a little bit more, it's not even much. Not that much compared to a leading role. And no, I do not think Enid will be the leader. No, that's just ridiculous that from a writing standpoint, that those people would follow Enid. They might be, they might appreciate her, look up to her, be proud of her, but they're not going to follow a child. Get out of here. I don't believe that for a second. I think Jesus should just take leadership over of the Hilltop. I mean, he's been there. He doesn't want the job, but who else is there? Unless when we come back, there's new characters, which there most likely will be, and we get a new, different leader in the Hilltop, someone who we don't know. That is possible. Chris with a $5 super chat. What are the chances they introduce new non-comic book characters? Also, how do you think Rick dies? ? Short and sweet or drawn out? Well, the thing with Rick is it'll probably be a little drawn out. They want to make it a big event, In the comic, there's Andrea dies, and Rick is there when she's dying and turning and she was bit. They might end up doing the same thing with Rick, giving him that death, which would be weird. But Michonne might be the one at his bedside. Like in the comic, it was Rick at Andrea's bedside. It might be Michonne at Rick's bedside. And he might get bitten and say his goodbyes and what he wants for the community. And then he dies and then turns. We get Rick as a zombie and then Michonne has to put him down. I personally find that to be extremely underwhelming, And that's why I feel like the series needs to end with him. Because when you give Rick a death, when the series continues, that death is going to be drastically different than if Rick died at the end of the series. Because if he dies at the end of the main series, you complete that arc. You can tell a completely different story. You can have a completely different death. But this death, it's going to flow into a continuation of the other characters' storylines. So I think it's tricky. And I don't know how Rick dies. He either gets bit, turns, gets put down, all that, yada, 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 and dies. Which, again, it's not what I want. Or they might have him get killed off by the Whisperers. So, Mega Dr. Dre with a $2 chat. Ever since Glenn died, the show has been downhill. Jenna Taylor. My girlfriend likes to pretend that she's 12. Why? Oh, you're joking. You're trolling. Thanks for the $10 just to troll, though. I appreciate that. Cody196, $2. Prick Grimes has been a real prick lately. All right, we got Melon Drain with a $5 super chat. If The Walking Dead would have been on HBO, I bet we wouldn't be having these problems and the writing wouldn't be as shitty. Thoughts on HBO and ads? HBO is a tricky one. Like I said before, they're the ones who turned it down because they didn't want the human-on-human violence. Or no, I keep forgetting which it is. I think they didn't want the zombie gore. I think they wanted it toned down, the zombie gore, which it doesn't make any sense. And I do believe HBO learned from their mistake, because afterwards we got, Game of Thrones, and it has plenty of gore. A part of me feels it would have done well on HBO with the right team. And if HBO did pick it up and they let the producers and the writers and Frank Darabont do what they wanted to do, we could have gotten maybe 5, 6, 7 seasons with Frank Darabont, the original guy, running, and we might not have ran into problems. So we might have had a very different The Walking Dead. A part of me is really curious to know what that would have been like. Oh my God, imagine that. I mean, what would that have been like? Sean Manning, $5 super chat. I keep hearing this and think back to episode 1 of the comic where it says this is the story of Rick Grimes, and without Rick, the story can't go on. Yeah, that's a part of the thing that really pulled me in, is we're going to follow this character all throughout the zombie apocalypse and yada, yada, yada. And like, that was his story. And I believe in the new versions, when they print the volumes and books and stuff, I believe the new printings don't have that, because I had an old printing, like one of the first prints of the first volume, I think it was, and it said that in the beginning. And then I have like a 13th print over here on the shelf, and it's missing. So I don't know if maybe I'm looking in the wrong book, or they removed that now. The Mark Shark with a $5 super chat. So Rick's story arc is that he starts the new beginning of the apocalypse, and it was inspired by Carl's vision for the future. That's the Grimes legacy. So far, it's looking like it. Wave Wonder with a $2 super chat. Season 6, episode 9 is a good meta series finale for rewatches. Season 6, episode 9. Which one is? Oh, No Way Out. No Way Out. Okay. That's a good way to look at it. Sam Black, $4.99 super chat. Do you think it's possible for Rick and Maggie's fate could be the same as Ezekiel's comic book fate, or is that too ridiculous? Here's the problem. Yes, I do think that's possible, but for a character like Rick Grimes, I think, again, that death, it just falls short, because it would essentially be them, our community, walking up and just finding him dead, finding a piece of him dead. Something about that seems, unless we open up and we get a Rick kind of calling back to this season. I know no one wants that, but we get Rick with the eyes, and he has this look on his face with his mouth open a little bit, and he's looking out, swaying, and we could kind of see the camera behind him with a little sway, and it looks over his shoulder, and it zooms out, and we see this massive horde, and we hear this creepy voice next to him talking, and then we zip back to the new beginning, and then we keep coming back to that image, and then we find out that it was Rick went up with Alpha. Alpha showed him the herd, and then when the camera pans down, she's got this machete just lodged like right in the middle of his chest, and she says her final words or whatever, and then she takes the machete handle, just yanks down, like ripping his guts wide open, and the camera pans over to Michonne, who's being held there with her mouth closed, like mumbling. Maybe you can even hear some of the mumbling in the earlier scenes, And then Rick is dying there, and that was Alpha's warning. We thought she was giving the warning to Rick as the leader, but she was really killing the leader in front of Michonne and a couple others. And the warning was to Michonne, you know what I mean? And take that back to the community. We just murdered your leader in front of you. And then when they deal with Rick and get him back to where the others are. Maybe he's bleeding out and still alive, and they're like, wrapped up his belly, and he's dying. He's clearly dying, but they're trying to get him back out to the community, and he's like in and out of it. And when they get back to the horses and start going back to Alexandria, that's when they find the border that they made, and there's Maggie's head, Ezekiel's head, and that's the border, and they said don't cross it. Some shit like that. If they... Again, I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Again, how do you kill off Rick Grimes? And then I'd have to be in like a writer's room think tank for a few weeks to really, knock that part of the story out. I'm glad, to be honest, as absolutely fun as it is for me. I love it. I mean, I get off on coming up with creative storytelling, stories. I would hate to be in that position, at least alone. If they were like, Ronnie Hayes, we picked this lottery, you need to decide how Rick dies, I'd have a heart attack. I don't think, not alone, I couldn't do that. That's too much pressure. Fuck that, Alright, Godzilla with a $5 super chat. The story can go on without Rick, just not if you kill him off too early, which is what they're doing. Yeah, and that's what I have a problem with. And I really got to see how they roll that out. L versus A, McLean with a $5 chat. If and when Rick leaves, what's going to happen to Negan? I think they're going to continue on with his redemption story. Mark Scott with a $5 chat. Juliet gets the rights to write Doomsday Kingdom after Ronnie is gone. I'll leave the binder. She can continue as the writer. Melon Drain, $5 chat. I won't be able to watch the show sober if they kill Rick. They should have him wake up from the coma with Shane and Lori by his side. No zombies. Listen, Melon Drain, you want to get on my bad side? Mention that shit again. That is one definite way to murder the whole franchise. I personally would delete every single Walking Dead video I made. I would burn every Walking Dead book I own. No, not the comic book. Unless they did that in a comic. Every DVD I own, I would throw it out, sell it. Every Walking Dead TV show item I have, I would get it out of my house as fast as fuck, boy, If it was all a dream in a coma, that is one of the worst things you could do. That's like saying nothing you just invested your time in, and that story you loved, the emotions you felt, none of it mattered. None of it was real. None of it happened to these characters. It is the opposite of escapism. You know what I mean? Where you escape out of your real life and you just get sucked in and immersed into this world. And for that world to just turn around and say, it all just doesn't matter because it was a dream or a coma. I would lose my shit, Sean Manning, $2 chat. I hope at least he goes out with a legendary death. Me too. Slothles with a $5 chat. Ronnie, what if they do a time skip in the series where Judith is older and Daryl is her protector like The Last of Us? Thoughts? I would like something like that. Again, I think, what? I would love that shit if they just end it with Rick and start it with, again, you don't even have to change the damn name. You know what I mean? The Walking Dead. It's a little following these. The Walking Dead Dicks. That's what I'm going to call it. And it's Daryl Dixon watching after his best friend's kid after his best friend died and then following Judith. I think that could really work. Again, since she carries on the Grimes legacy, that could definitely work with the right story. Godzilla with a $5 chat. Do you think Negan will feel bad when Rick dies because he had some mutual respect for Rick because Rick was the only man who could take him down? Yeah, I think Negan would feel something, I think he definitely would. Absolutely. Unknown Echo said, if I saw Rick's head on a spike, my face would drop. Yeah, that would be nuts. Just think about it. It would be like Game of Thrones. They had one of their... Well, people thought he was the main character. His head was on a spike. Kill Him Earl says, this will be the biggest regret of Andrew Lincoln's life. There's almost... I have no doubts that in some way he'll have regrets, with this. I mean, this is a big thing. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, though. We don't know what any of that's like, and I do believe there will be some regret. What if, like I said before, what if I just stuck it out 1 or 2 more years? What if we just 1 or 2 more years to really, clinch the storyline for Rick Grimes, but we don't know. We don't know. Deja Vu said, no, I'm not watching him die. Do you think AMC announcing the Rick character leaving the show now is a way for them to ensure a major rating boost this upcoming season? You know what? Yes and no. Obviously, any network would use anything for a ratings boost, but this is something they have to do for damage control. Like, this is a must. A character this big, like I said before, they need to come out and prep the fan base and let them know, like, this isn't the end. There's a lot of casual fans where if you kill Rick, and they're going to think, oh my God, they're wrapping this up. This is the last season. You will get a lot of fans thinking that. A lot of viewers. They need to do this as damage control to say, we have a plan. Rick is, ending his story, but we're continuing on. They have to do that, A character that big, it would be ridiculous to just spring it on the fan base. Q&A, do you think they would have had to rewrite and shoot for this season, even though they are early in the shooting schedule? Surely this throws a spanner in the works of the season storyline. No, keep in mind, they're only on, episode 3 right now? Episode 4, maybe? No, probably episode 3. Because I think they released a trailer in July, right? And there usually is the first 6 episodes, give or take, in the trailer. Sometimes less, maybe 3. Mostly the first 3 or 4 episodes. And they start putting the trailer together in probably June, I would imagine. So this is something, because we know Gimple went into the new position. We know they were renegotiating their contracts back in season 8. This is something they knew, in my opinion, well before they wrote season 9. So we're getting probably what they knew. When they sat down to write, they may be an alternate take if Maggie stays on till the end of the season. If her show didn't work in the negotiations, yada, yada, yada. There could be an alternate storyline for that, but I do believe they're not going to reshoot or anything. They're not going to do any rewrites, reshoots. They might have an alternate take on stuff like that, but I think they got it already written. That's what I'm getting at. Walter White says, what worries me is that AMC and The Walking Dead has not denied it yet. Yeah, Walter White, no, it's true. It's definitely true. It's not been confirmed by them, but it's true. So many different sources have already confirmed it. It's true. What if Rick becomes the lone walker? Well, he would be a lone walker. He can't be the lone walker because Shane saw that, and Rick killed Shane, so that just wouldn't make any sense, But if he becomes a lone walker, for me, I would hate that, because what does a walker do? It walks until it runs into a herd. So Rick would be just walking away as a zombie without anything else around. That would be it. I really wouldn't read anything off of that. I'd be pretty annoyed if they did that. Even if they wanted to go a route where they went a messed up route, like this world consumes everybody, and they showed, our hero, I talked about this before, dying, turning into a walker, and then just melting away and getting lost in a herd. I mean, that in a way is a powerful message, but again, I think Rick Grimes deserves something better than that, something bigger than that. All right. Charm said, will Maggie get Comic Laurie's death somehow? I don't know. I don't think so. That is a horrendous idea. That's pretty good, Ronnie. That sounds like an actual thing, Ronnie. Oh, are you guys talking about my alpha killing that would be insane, Ronnie. Love it. You like that? That would just be That's just like off the top of my head. I'd have to sit down. I hope you mean that in a good way. That would be a horrendous idea. Like, man, that's brutal. So I think that would be freaking brutal. Ronnie, are you sure you're included in the wait, Ronnie, are you sure you're included in the creative team? I wish I was. I wish I was, because I tell you what, if AMC was like, listen, we want it like in a fantasy land, we want to pull a fan or a couple fans into like a think tank, and like maybe who can we pull in to, help us conceive a next Walking Dead story. And I already have the pitch already for the intro. Imagine this. Now, I would have to sit down and really polish it, but just think about this. Give me 1 second and I'll shut up about my ideas and we'll go back into your comments. But just think about this. You have a character who's in the snow and he's freezing, and you can hear the howling of the wind. You can see the snow. It's a good foot and a half deep, and he is frozen, but he's out of breath. He's desperate, looking behind him, and he's not like running, but he's not like walking. He's trying to traipse through the snow, and he's looking back. He's nervous. He's terrified. He's scared. He keeps looking back, but he's slowing down somewhat. Again, he's getting cold, but he falls to a knee, and then he finally comes to a stop as he straightens up and looks back to take notice behind him. And you have like a flurry too, because it's like a blizzard, you know what I mean? So, and he looks behind him, and then that's where the camera pans, and you just see like this zombie slowly moving until it comes to a slow stop. And then behind him, you just see like these, and again, in the way I picture it, it's hard to put into words, but you see these zombies as if the herd behind him, as the camera's panning, the zombies are coming at him, but they're at the stage where they're starting to freeze, so they're all slowing down and stopping, and you have like, you pan out to this huge herd that's in mid-freeze as it's trying to walk to get this person, and then title card. That would be my intro to kick it off with a new, and we'd have snow. All right, it'd be The Walking Dead with snow. That would be the intro. A frozen zombie herd going after this poor soul, and then you would pick up somewhere and obviously show how he got to that point, but then how he's not going to freeze to death. That would be my intro. You guys like that or no? I love it. I tell you right now, I love it. But a difficult thing, though, is when you talk about certain things like this, the way I have it in my head, it's a lot better than, oh, the zombies in mid-walk freezing. How's that working? Trust me, the way it's in my head, it'll work, because it's not just like, oh, here's all zombies and they just stop walking at once. You'll have a few making it through. Some are frozen, some falling over, So I got this. Trust me. All right, let's pick up some super chats. That'd be dope as fuck. I'd enjoy the hell out of that while crying, laugh out loud. Damn, I could picture that shit in my brain, but I hope not. Melon Drain. I won't be able to watch the show sober if they... Oh, we already did that one. Let's scroll down. I think some of you like that idea. I don't think some of you liked it with Rick getting gutted. I kind of like that for a quick idea, but again, I think Rick Grimes should get something more, I don't know. Rick's death could be that he wakes up in the hospital with Carl and other characters. Oh, we're not going down that road again. You want to get me triggered? Okra said, honestly, they're going to do the head on a spike for Rick. I don't see how they could do that. I just don't see how they could do that. It's just way too underwhelming. Everyone's asking, what if Rick becomes a lone walker? I answered this, but I still don't understand what you're talking about. You're mean the lone walker in the title card, right? That Shane looked at that walker. That is, like, if you're looking at that title card and thinking, oh, that was a hint to him being dead, That's the Walker that Shane saw. We saw him see that Walker. There's no way Rick becomes the Walker that Shane saw when Rick killed Shane. You know what I mean? It's just not possible. Unless you're talking about something else. Yeah, John Sullivan said, what do you think about another station picking up The Walking Dead? That used to happen a lot back in the day, and it worked out good many times. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know this yet, The Walking Dead is owned by AMC. See, what happens is, like, for example, I own Doomsday Kingdom. If I come up with a great idea, yada, 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 and I have contacts, I'll go to the networks and shop it around. And then what happens is they'll put it on their networks, but I still own Doomsday Kingdom. That's why you see other TV shows go to different networks, because that network picks it up because a different company owns the story, the rights. But with AMC, they actually own the Walking Dead rights. They don't just air it, they own it too. So there's no way at all, ever, anyone else but AMC is doing a Walking Dead TV show or movie, or they own the rights. You know what I mean? And it's just going to stay that way. Music Mania, why 6 episodes each? I don't get it. I don't get why 6 episodes. I honestly don't get it. There's a ton of comments. I'm trying to skim through, but it's so hard getting through them. Zombie Slayer says, how do we know this isn't a rumor? I'm still very traumatized. Because it's been confirmed by a few sources now. By a lot of sources now. Cam says, I think they're going to go the walking away from the group route. That opens the opportunity to leave for sure and give us the opportunity to have them come back. I stand by what I said before. There's just no way they can do that. The casual viewer base will eat AMC alive. Every convention. Look at what they did. Listen, for everyone who thinks they're just going to go away and Rick is going to live, but we're never going to see him again until Andrew Lincoln decides to play him again, look what happened with Morales. Every convention, every freaking video, every Walking Dead Q&A, where's Morales? Where's Tobias? Where's fucking, I don't know, who else disappeared? Where's Alex? Where's this person? If Rick goes and he's not back, every convention, every Q&A video, every this, every that, it'll be everywhere. Where's Rick Grimes? When are we getting Rick Grimes? And the fan base it'll turn into a feeding frenzy. I just can't see that working out. Jason Plays Games with a $10 super chat. Daryl was originally written as a gay character. Once Frank was removed, the other showrunners didn't continue with that story. Do you think that Angela Kang could bring it back and have a gay lead? I think at this point they veered away from that to a degree where I don't think they're going to bring that back. No, I don't think so. Thank you very much for the super chat and holding it down. But I really don't. Spin 2020 with a $10 chat. If the fact Andrew made this decision to leave, then why are all you people mad at AMC and Scott Gimple? Yeah, well, that's another thing. I do see a lot of people mad at Gimple. At this point, I don't think he has anything to do with this. Unless you believe Gimple fired Carl and Rick left because of Carl. Then I see what you're getting at. I don't think that's how it went down, though. I do believe, now that we know this, I'll be honest, I do believe at this time, until we hear anything different, maybe Carl was killed off because they knew Rick was dying. I'll be straight up on you. I think that might have been what was going on. Further, if Lincoln wants to do other projects, well, sorry, but he's typecast forever now. He's always going to be Rick Grimes to the Walking Dead family. Thank you very much for the super chat support. As far as Andrew's decision to leave, I think some people that are mad, I think they feel Andrew wanted to leave because of the atmosphere, because of AMC and everything going on with budget and contracts. And it's not a lie that AMC underpays their actors. That's not a lie. That's like a real thing. Everyone talks about it. Everyone in the industry is like, look at these actors. They get all this money. Look at The Walking Dead. They get like half of what other people should be making, or they just get less. So I think that's why some are mad. I think AMC is just an easy target. But at this time, everyone's a suspect. I'm still, me personally, I'm like, well, what is Andrew doing? Yada, yada, yada. The only reason I'm not mad at Andrew just right away for bouncing, abandoning us, is because it's not like he's saying, pay me $80 million and I'll stay, or I'm going to do this movie because fuck The Walking Dead yet. So we're still waiting to see, Kane Knight with a $5 chat. Everyone's assuming he's dying, but is there any chance of him leaving only temporary, like a vacation? Laugh out loud. Again, I stand by the what do you guys think? Do you guys think you can stand watching season after season knowing Rick is alive out there and we're not, gonna see what he's doing? Godzilla with a $2 chat. If I do watch, I'll record all the episodes and binge it. Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna move to binging it, to be honest. Dozer 1003 with $100. Are my eyes working? With $100 super chat support. Holy hot damn! And I love your profile picture with Jason. Jason. Hey Ronnie, I don't have a question. I just wanted to help out and say that I appreciate everything you do on your channel. I've been around for a few years and have enjoyed all your content. Your humor and insight are the best. Thanks, brother. Oh my God. $100 super chat support. Fucking outstanding. And a bomb-ass compliment in a comment. You made my night, brother. You made my night. Appreciate the support, especially for years. You're awesome and a little crazy, and that's why I like you. Unknown Echo said Norman doesn't deserve $20 million. Ouch. Definitely non-Daryl fans are definitely going to have some harsh opinions about that. Because again, that is a chunk of money, especially with having problems with the budget, and then this. Chris with a $2 chat. Could Negan turn face and help raise Judith? I don't know. I think that's a bit much. Yeah, I think that's a bit much. That might be overdoing it. I think he could be around and give advice and guidance. But I don't know about raising. It just doesn't fit his character. Godzilla with a $5 chat. If DK ever does become a show, would you let AMC pick it up? Never. After seeing what they did with The Walking Dead, or would you say get the fuck away from AMC? AMC could never pick up Doomsday Kingdom. Now I say that now. I mean, if I was offered a chance, I personally would hold out for HBO or Netflix. Again, if we're talking Fantasyland, I mean, we're just getting the comic off the ground, so we're just talking here. But I'd have to hold out for something that's not censored. It can't be. There's not only the dialogue. I want the dialogue to stay authentic, because there's certain characters that curse and certain characters that don't. I don't want that to be, whatever. But there's a few moments that are just downright brutal, and it'll be hard, too, in particular, to get it on HBO, let alone AMC. Never. It would never air. It would, and one moment in particular is just extremely important, especially because of the violent. It needs to stay in the scene, and what happens in the scene, it has to stay. So Eminem 3DG Tyler with a $5 chat. Bruh, Beth was on some Houdini type shit in season 4. She somehow knew Daryl would be the last man standing. Well, technically he's not. Michonne's there. Who else do we got? Jesus is there. I mean, everyone's still there. Carol, unless they're leaving too. Until then, yeah, she pegged that. Son of a bitch. Beth got something right. It's a shocker. What else we got? They could just have it the same as the comics because Rick isn't in every issue. They check in with him every now and then as the leader in Alexandria. The story is a lot more massive with more characters. Well, see, this is another thing that I don't quite get, because you're right. The story will eventually grow, especially if they stick with the comic. By season 10, Rick might only be in a couple episodes, and he could still be a leader at Alexandria, and then we can follow our group over to Commonwealth. The thing, though, is right now it sounds like, unless we get a correction from an official source, he wants to be gone. He wants to leave. He's out. You know what I'm saying? So you would think that, but it looks like he's out. Alyssa Jet with a $20 super chat. Hell yeah, holding it down yet again. Hell yes, I'd rather have Rick out there somewhere instead of killed off. I could have hoped that way. Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. For fans who would prefer one over the other, I feel you. I would prefer that, to be honest, over dead, because then I know we could see him again. Cody196 with a $2 chat. You should do a film on Doomsday Kingdom one day. I would absolutely love to. That would be freaking awesome. What do you guys think about that snowy intro, though? Would that be a cool intro to a little... If you... Give me your honest opinion, because we're all zombie fans here. If you popped on, like, YouTube Red or Netflix, and you saw that... Again, the atmosphere is very important. You got to have the sounds, the wind, the howl, the cold. You got to feel frozen just watching it. And then this guy's kind of getting away, but he's frozen and he's terrified. And, you know, it's like a slow getaway at this point. And then he looks back and you just start to slowly see this, you know, zombie horde freeze as it's in mid, whatever, following. And then the camera pans out and there's this huge herd. It goes to like snow-covered trees and then to black and then title card. I love that idea so much. For just a neat little, quick and to the point. We have snow. We have zombies. Boom. I love that idea. The Last Outlaw said, where's everyone getting the 20 million thing from? This is coming from a few sources from inside the camp that are obviously unnamed because they don't want to be, known as sources. But it's coming from like 8 different entertainment website sources. Like real ones, not clickbait ones. Gut Van Squid said, what if instead of Alpha cutting off, Rick's head, Beta wears his face for the duration of his time on the show? That would be messed up. Could be possible that they brought some of the stuff from the comics in earlier because they knew Andrew Lincoln was leaving soon. Yeah, that could be possible. He may not love it anymore, said Rebecca. I don't know. I mean, he seems honest when he says he does. They could just have him in the same... Okay, we already read these. Could I watch him and not see him as Rick Grimes? No, not for a little while yet. Ronnie, what do you think will happen to Heath? Do you feel he'll make a return next season? I don't know now. Heath is a funny one because normally I would say, you know what? He's gone. He may come back, he may not. But because they left that card there with the PPP, or whatever the hell that was, I feel like they do kind of have a plan to bring him back. Or maybe they have a plan to maybe, if it fits, bring him back. Or if the actor wants to come back. Excuse me. Your throat gets so dry when you talk. Ronnie, what do you think will happen to Heath? Yeah, so Heath he's up in the air, I think. Maria
N with a $5 chat. What do you think will happen with smaller characters like Rosita and Terra? I am traumatized and sick. Feel like a close friend is dying. Well, this is an interesting question. Good question. Thank you for bringing that up. And thank you for the super chat support. With big characters exiting, they may not want to take the risk at killing off smaller characters. And comic fans know there's a lot of smaller characters that should be getting killed off coming up in the Whisper storyline. So will they hold off now? Will it be, instead of having like 12, people killed, will it only be like Rick and Maggie and a handful of others, like 2 or 3 others, like maybe Terra and Rosita, for example, and then that's that, because you already have these really big deaths if they die. But again, if they don't die, where are they going? What are they doing? Because they're filming at Alexandria, so we're not at the point yet where they're on the road. So they're not going to be around but not seen. You know what I mean? Lewis asked, what if he breaks his leg and then loses his arm and then dies from blood loss? Now, right now, that's just a death to connect it to the comic, because he had his arm cut off and he had his leg broken. But it doesn't do anything emotionally or story-wise. That, no offense, but that, in my opinion, would just be fan service. It's like having, coming up with, there's a cameo in Han Solo, whatever. That's just straight ridiculous fan service at the end of, some fan service is good, like Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One. My best fan service of my life, But, well, that connects to you get what I'm saying. That just doesn't work. Bozeman World with a $10 chat. Love your content as always, Ronnie. Devastated about Rick. Andrew Lincoln is the lifeblood of the show for me. At least we still have the comic. Have you tried out streamlabs.com? It's a good donation system. You know what? I got to get on that. I'm writing that down on my new list. I have a list of things I got to get done because I'm falling behind on some stuff. So thank you very much for the support. I'm devastated, right there with you, and a hell of a lot of others. And as far as the donation system, I got to get on that. Godzilla2472 with a $10 super chat. No one's asking the most important question. If Rick dies, what will happen to his cult python? Hopefully he'll be buried with it. I don't want to see anyone else using it. That is Rick's 357 and his alone. Damn good question. I don't know. And no, I don't want anyone else having Rick's gun either. Not at all. Bad Guy George with a $5 super chat. Who has had the most development on the show? I have to go with Carol. I really hope she is Daryl's second in command in season 9. Carol is an interesting one because her development, a huge chunk of it, happened off screen. And I think that's one of the most disappointing things I thought with Carol at first. I loved her disappointment where we got there, but we missed so much. Go watch season 1 again. Even check out season 2. And then go into 3. That's her development really kicks into gear, and there's a whole chunk missing between 2 and 3 that there's probably small things, but still it's a big thing. But I get you. The biggest development, Carol's definitely got some. Maggie's also come a long way. A lot of the characters, and that's what I love about the show, is the characters develop through this world. So I think Carol's probably up there off the top of my head. Rick too has a lot of development. I mean, look at him in the first season, Gretchen Tomasi, $2 super chat. How would you like to see him go? This is tricky. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I just don't know. And I just don't know. It has to be powerful and emotional. At this time I'm just stuck. I'm not sure if I want him eaten by zombies. I'm not sure if I want him killed by a human threat. Just simply bit and die. I just know that however it goes out, it needs to be gangster as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I would almost prefer, if you had a gun to my head and said pick a way right now for Rick Grimes to die, damn, I don't know, because I feel like all of this is beneath him, at this time. But I'm sticking with what I said with Alpha gutting him and hearing Michonne, and the threats, yada, yada, yada. I'm sticking with that for now, because I feel like him getting bit and dying in bed, it's just so weak, and it's so weak for that character, that type of character. The perfect thing I could think of is, remember in the season 7 premiere where the build up where Negan killed everyone because they put themselves in the corner doing that cliffhanger? I would want Rick's death to be an episode like that, where there's meaning there, you know what I mean, and things line up. But I just don't know the exact way he dies, Soft Batch with a 666 super chat. If you could pick someone other than Daryl to be the new lead, who would you want? A new lead other than Daryl. Oh my god, that is tough. I can't see anyone as the lead other than Rick fucking Grimes, A new lead, I mean, hot damn. Who do we got? Fuck. Who do you have, Carol or Michonne? I mean, I would say Maggie would be up there too as a pick, but she's leaving too. Who do you have? Think about it. If you really think about it, who? Is it Carol? I mean, that would be one hell of a twist, wouldn't it? The abused wife from season 1 becomes the leader of the series, and oh my god. I don't know. I have no idea. The lead of the series, fuck. Besides Daryl, I'm gonna have to pick Michonne. I'm gonna go with Michonne. But I'll tell you what, that's a tough one, because some of these characters, a lot of them, they work good in certain roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michonne is great for that role, but to be a leader, it's different. You need a different type of character, and yada yada yada. I don't know. Mega Dr. Dre with a $10 chat. I don't think Rosita is dying next season. She's too strong of a character to get killed off like in the comics, the same way with Rick. Michonne is on her final contract and may leave as well. Yeah, I'm hearing more people say Michonne might be leaving too. Rabbit said, Ronnie, how would you feel if Tara, Gabriel, Enid, and Daryl became the new central characters? I like the actor who plays Gabriel. I'm not thrilled with him as a character with the way they do a lot of his stuff. There's some stuff that I really like when they went to the Savior compound and he was like, see you in hell, sucker, Cool shit. But they would have to, the actor can handle it. They would have to tweak the character and make him, a touch different. They would have to remix him just a touch. Tara, Enid, I'm not thrilled with that for the central core. I'd want new characters to come on board. Yeah. Morgan is on Fear the Walking Dead, so doubt he could come back. That's another thing that really annoys me, guys. Morgan is going to be gone when Rick is either killed off or what? Like, what? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious, man? Holy hot damn. Too bad it couldn't be a really cool way to just end out Rick, but also involve Morgan in some shit. I mean, damn, hot damn. What would that be? I don't know. Godzilla with a $5 chat. If Carl was still alive, then I would want it to go to him as a badass heirloom. Off topic, do you think Morgan not killing again is a little repetitive? Yeah, but it's for continuity's sake, and I do wish this is to finally get around that, and to get a leveled Morgan where he's not using this not killing stuff to put him in, stupid situations. So I wish this is a way to polish that part of the character, to cement where he stands on things. Like, you kill if you absolutely have to, but if you don't have to, don't, and try a different way, you know? What else we got? Harrison said, maybe you could use your creative writing drafts from The Walking Dead and put it in Doomsday Kingdom. I've taken a lot of ideas that, like, oh my god, this would be so cool if they do it in The Walking Dead, and I've kept them for myself. One, I made a prediction video for what they could do in the comic to just revitalize, you know, the storyline going into the Commonwealth situation. Well, this was before the Commonwealth. Talking about having characters go out there, and for those who don't know, I don't have. Oh my. Yeah, I made that video. It was a prediction video talking about what they could do story-wise, and I came up with something that I thought was so freaking amazing that could literally carry the franchise on, and in a just like what, and do something with it that could give it another like 10-year lifespan, but also refresh it and still be grounded like within that world. And if you open, I grabbed the wrong motherfucking book. If you open issue 2, when everyone gets their physical copies, this guy was born out of that idea, one of those prediction videos. There was always a character like him, and I based him off of Opie from Sons of Anarchy, and if it ever gets made into a movie, man, that would be awesome to get that actor. But yeah, that's like a cowboy guy. And not like John Dory, nothing at all like that. Like, I'm talking like cowboy, more like the Preacher. Like, it looks like a cowboy. It has a purpose though, but him and what he does in that world, how he lives, that's hinted in the first page there, because we cover a little like you know, transition from the present day to the past. But I have done that. I've taken story ideas like, oh my god, that would be so great, and then I've kept them for myself and put it in Doomsday Kingdom. Anyway, Last Outlaw said, you wouldn't be surprised if Norman wanted out too in the next couple of years. I see him as someone who cares about the integrity of the art and doesn't want to be involved in a shit show. Did you hear about Roseanne was canceled? Thoughts? I could care less. I never watched Roseanne. I watched that when I was growing up, the old show, a couple times, I think. But even back then, I never cared for it. So I don't really care. You are on trending? Really? YouTube? Nice. Deanna lives on. Just end the freaking show, man. Reboot in 30 years. You either die the hero or live long enough to become AMC. You said the villain. I said AMC. I was just joking. Well, that's the thing. Keep in mind, it's not just about the story to them. This is AMC making money. They're not going to reboot it. They're not going to wait 30 years. They want to make money. To the people profiting off this, imagine you're receiving a paycheck, a big paycheck every month, and someone comes to you and says, hey, you're going to stop receiving this paycheck because the people who watch, you know, your show, they're not enjoying it as much and they want to take a break. You're going to be like, no, I still want my paycheck. They're not going to stop. I heard Rick will be written out with a loose ending in case he decides to rejoin. Well, then you must have a super inside source, because no one else has heard that yet. Don't you think Season 8 was a perfect series finale? No, honestly, not even close. There's so much left up in the air. Michonne probably going to be busy with Marvel. I'd leave if I were her. She's not going to be busy with Marvel. They do what? They'll do another Black Panther movie and then another Avengers movie, and she's going to appear in both of those probably over the next 3 years, and she'll only have a very small role. That's nothing. They're not paying her like they're paying Captain America or the Hulk or Iron Man for damn sure. It's paid out depending on your role, so she should stay where she's at and jump ship if she feels that it's all going under, or we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Oh wait, we got some more super chats here. LVA McLean, do you think AMC would Negan will kill Rick, or let Negan kill Rick, or a new enemy? I'm not sure what you wrote. Do you think AMC would Negan will kill Rick? I think you mean, yeah, we get what you mean. No, that doesn't do anything good for Negan's character. They want him to continue on. Unless they want to kill Negan off too, then have him kill Rick and then kill Negan. But it doesn't move his character forward, or a new enemy. I think a new enemy would probably, if they're killing him, it'd have to be a new enemy. Vasquez said, with a $2 chat, said, so what about Negan? Where's that story going? I think they're going to go the redemption route. Elisa Jet with a $10 chat. I'd be okay with Rick and Michonne riding off in the sunset together with, and then there's nothing there. Do you mean with Judith? What if they rode off in the sunset and Judith is like, what the fuck, bro? Gretchen Tomasi with $2 chat. You do think the Whispers are coming? I hope so. I hope so. I really do. I really do. I can't see why they would leave him out, Chris with a $5 chat. What if Negan is with Rick as he dies and promises to carry out Carl's vision? Negan becomes Daryl's right-hand man. Love your work. Mad respect. Well, that would be tricky. Thank you very much for that support and the super chats tonight. But Negan being there when Rick dies, they could probably do something with that. But and carrying Carl's vision, they had a little bit of camaraderie, They would have to do something with them a bit, some scenes to build off that and show, some type of bond through the time skip. But as far as becoming Daryl's right-hand man, that they'd have to really explain stuff through the break, because that would just be like, wait a minute, what? To all of us, Groot said, I'm so bored of Marvel movies, it becomes all the same to me. Spider-Man 2 was great comic movie. Wonderful comic feel on screen. Yeah, I always liked Spider-Man 2. No, I haven't seen 13 Reasons Why. It's not my type of show. Do you think Rick dying could have some influence on Daryl and the Rebels deciding not to kill Negan? And that brings up a good question, too. If Maggie's going, Rick is going, what do we do with Negan? If Daryl's going to be the one in charge, that's a vastly different, you know what I mean? Where they left off, there's no reason for Daryl to keep Negan alive. There's no reason at all. Unless, of course, there's some type of bonding in the break off screen that we don't see, and then they catch us up with it. Epic Vids with a $6 super chat. What if The Walking Dead ends in a few years and Fear is still in? What happens? Will they eventually merge the shows or keep them separate? Well, if they end, they'll probably just end. If they merge the shows... see, and this is a tricky thing, because if they end, they're probably just going to end it. You know what I mean? And if it's doing that bad and they end it, there's going to be no one on the cast who's pulling in views. So there's no reason to bring them to Fear. You get what I'm saying? Unless there's like one person that's the last, like let's say Carol's the last one who stays on the show. Everyone left, everyone's killed off, and she still brings in a viewer base, but they just can't keep the show running. They'll take that Carol and bring her over. But it'll be a crossover. It's not going to be a merger. But because she's, moving over and the show's ending, you can call it a merger. So, but for me personally, there's no way for them to merge the two shows because they're making money off both shows, and they'll lose money on one of them if they do that, Pickle Rick said something that's odd. He said, when Rick leaves, he's not coming back. He's been there for 9 years without his family. Yeah, I think that's so odd. Yeah, he doesn't stay here. He hasn't been away from his family for 9 years. He films here. When he films, he's, away from his family, except for when they come. I think they visit or whatever they said in the interview. But he's not, like the way you put it, he's not like, I'm leaving the United States and never coming back. No, it's the job having to come here for, he lives in the UK. He has to come here for filming for a few months. He's got to come here for a lot of months to film and also to promote it, to do interviews, to do the conventions, the ones he does go to. So that's a lot of coming to the U.S. and a lot of flights. Yeah, that takes his toll, definitely. But it's not like he's, been away from his family the whole 9 years. Will I keep watching if Andrew Lincoln is gone? Yes. I'm not going to be happy about it. Have they really defined why Andy is leaving? No, we haven't heard yet why. Can Rick leave and go find Morgan and leave an open ending to Rick? No, because then who takes care of Judith? And the fans will still wonder, and where's he going to look for Morgan at? That would just fall apart story-wise. Ronnie, you think Chris Hardwick will address the Rick situation on Talking Dead this Sunday? Well, here's the thing. AMC pays him, so if they don't want him to talk about it, he's not going to talk about it. Slacker, you're weird, Ronnie. You shave your head, but you don't want to be bald. No, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's kind of like I've shaved my head since I was little, but in the same strength, what if I want hair in 10 years? I don't know. I mean, what then? So, no, I don't think anyone wants to go bald, but in the same strength, I fucking might as well, because I'm not growing my hair out. I did it for a little bit. You guys can see in the older videos, I grew my hair out. And there was some days I liked it, but the most of the time, it's just annoying. I have stupid hair. It's curly here, long, flat, and dull up top. I hate it. Plus, I got like it waves this way, and I don't like it. We got Mega Dr. Dre with a $10 chat support. Chandler Riggs is not Andrew Lincoln's real, so is not Andrew Lincoln's real son, but he's had that psychological and emotional connection with working with him for 8 years. So Andy may be mad at AMC for killing Carl. There could be something there. He could be upset. I think that's a bit much. There's definitely something there. I think it's a bit much. I think what would be more on the head is him losing his focus as an actor, because he's drawn so much as a father, protecting Carl. I mean, that was the whole journey, was to find his family, and he found them. And okay, you killed the wife, but it's still this father-son journey. And then without the kid, it does feel so empty. That'd be like Last of Us without Ellie. I mean, it would feel so empty, Even though Joel is an awesome character, it's the combination that works so incredibly well. Chris with a $2 chat. Could Daryl bond with Negan like Carl did in the comics? He could bond with Negan, yes, but it wouldn't quite be like Carl because there's a certain history there, Plus, different characters have different attitudes between Carl and Daryl. No, Gomez said, do you think Glenn or Abraham would be strong leaders to replace Rick? No, and I don't say that to take anything away from them. Again, there's certain characters that are great for certain things, to lead the series, though. No. Brandon said they should have Rick get injured and fall back into his coma. He would die, though, you know. I mean, they would have to... That'd be a real stretch. D-Man said, do you think Kirkman can save this? Not unless he does one hell of an Andrew Lincoln impersonation. Michael said, at this point, do you think they'll skip the Whispers and go straight to the Commonwealth? I just don't see how that helps anything, you know? I can't fathom them skipping the Whispers. I can't fathom it. I mean, the Whispers is just, it's picture perfect for TV. It just doesn't make any sense unless their grand plan is to have the Whispers in fear and then have Commonwealth in The Walking Dead. But again, that would be so, like, what? Thank you, Sabrina. Yeah, Eugene is the new lead. Well, what do you hope to see as Andy's send-off in the script? I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I just know, you know, it has to be a combination of things. It has to be emotional. It's got to be gripping. It's got to have purpose. You know what I mean? It's got to be gangster as fuck. That's one thing. He's got to go out like a G. You know what I mean? You can't just bit and die in bed when you have a character like Noah get his face ripped off. I mean, this is a great journey. You know, awesome. But at the end of the day, this is a zombie story. He's got to go out like a boss. There's got to be some shit going on. You know what I mean? So AMC owns all right to the Walking Dead commercials on television. Yeah, they own all that. Anything that has the Walking Dead TV show characters, they own it all. Yeah, they own the rights, the licensing, and all that. The only thing they can't do is interfere with the comic book licensing. You know what I mean? And I do believe that's why a part of Kirkman's lawsuit, I do believe, I didn't read it in the details, but the TV show, certain characters were not distinguishable enough from the comic. Like, for example, Father Gabriel, it looks the same as a Father Gabriel, so they can't release that, you know what I mean? So I think there's stuff going on like that. Hirani, I feel that 6-episode rumor is debunkable because of how Andrew Lincoln got to the new beginning. I don't know. I think the 6-episode thing doesn't make any sense, to be honest. All right, it's 1 in the morning. We're going to shut it down now so I can actually wake up and get my daughter off to school. But listen, this is traumatic. We're going to have to do another sit down the campfire and chit chat, especially with those super chats. Holy fuck, guys. I think you're holding it down. Holding it down hardcore. And I'm going to get that Streamlabs because that YouTube taking their, 30-40% cut, that's a hard hit. But I'm going to get that Streamlabs up because you guys said it's a lot better. I can't wait to see Yvette Nicole Brown's take on the Rick and Maggie ending. I wonder if she said anything on... She had to have seen it on Twitter. What if they twist it and have Jadis and Negan plan Negan's escape? Rick or Maggie stumbles upon them on the outside. Again, that doesn't do anything for the storyline, though. If the bad guys are leaving and, Rick and Maggie catch them and they kill them, all that happens now is the good guys hunt them down and kill them. It doesn't do anything story-wise as far as flow. And it just really kind of shits on Rick, to be honest. Imagine that legacy. He died because he's fucking stupid. He let someone live that got out and killed him. I think that would fall apart. Story-wise, me personally. Quentin Hunt with a $50 super chat support. Holy hot damn. Thanks, man. Love everything you do. I'm absolutely thrilled. You're one I don't have to worry about when I upload anything, since you love everything. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Trust me, I do. And thank you very much for that support, brother. Crazy guy. Yes, it's pretty much confirmed. Not the specifics, but Lincoln is pretty much done. Something good might come out of this. Is another zombie drama might come, like maybe Last of Us, or they push all the cast into fear. You know, with The Walking Dead making an exit as far as being like the king, it is the perfect time for something else to come up and start being hot. You know, The Walking Dead is always going to be, you know, it is hot, it's doing its thing, but it's at a perfect time now for other content to come out, for us fans to be like, you know what, we want to sink our teeth into something outside the world of The Walking Dead that is still zombie related, you know. No, nothing's officially confirmed. But trust me, if you're waiting for an officially confirmed, I hope to God they come out and say this is all fake. But it's looking like 98% chance that this is happening. This is definitely happening. Why Profit said, I missed your donation. Wait, I got it. Why Profit with $5 donation. Rick's gutted, losing blood, and visions blurry, barely traveling back. Joel and Ellie style. Home when Horde calls Rick to fight him while bit for Michonne and Judith and yells go. Yeah, they can have him go out, you know, as a hero. Again, though, it's like, what do we do with the story from that point on? Is it just this one singular moment where there's zombies? And again, at this time, they clear the roads. They clear the roads. They have patrols. They're living safe. It can only be something like a crazy accident or the new villains, you know? It can only be one or the other two, unless they're coming up with some crazy different thing. I mean, they could really try to go out of their way to fool us and just have him get sick, you know? Imagine that. Imagine he just gets sick. Like, damn. I don't think I'd like that. Godzilla with a $2 super chat support. You're welcome. Thank you very much, brother. Ronnie, did you know that Austin Emilio is an amateur skateboarder? Yeah, I watched a review where he was skateboarding. I was looking forward to Rick meeting Madison at some point. Looks like that's not happening. No, that probably was never going to happen, though, to be honest. I feel like if it wasn't true, they already would have said so. Oh, 100%. 110%, yeah. Tyler White said, Collider made people think Jake Gyllenhaal would be Batman, which turned out to be fake. Collider is the same source that made people think that Rick is going to die. Well, don't forget. We now have, it's not just Collider, we now have The Hollywood Reporter and Entertainment Weekly who checked with their sources, and they confirmed, they backed up what Collider said. On top of that, there's a handful of others that I don't even remember that are, you know, reliable, established entertainment news sources or news outlets that backed up what Collider said by their sources. So, assuming they don't all have the same source, these are multiple sources saying, yeah, that's happening. That is what makes us say, yeah, it's happening, you know. Something might be tweaked along the way. Like I said, the 6-episode thing just doesn't make any damn sense. But I don't know. It's looking like they're both out of here. Don't get me wrong. I would love for this to just be a mistake, and the source got it wrong, and the internet blew up, and it's all ridiculous. I would laugh. I'd be like, oh my god, whew, we dodged a bullet on that one, you know. Meanwhile, Morgan Jones is in Fear the Walking Dead. Where's my cast going? Ronnie, I swear I've tried to watch again and again. It is summertime, and you once said that you were going to talk about your past life or life in general in this season. I'm interested as fuck in this season. Oh, that's coming. It's not going to be in the middle of a Walking Dead video, though. I do have more image files, and again, I wanted to piece a video together. I do have some images. I do have some old videos I got to get off, like an old Super 8 tape. I don't know what the hell it is. It's not like, the VHS tapes, but then they made the VHSCs or some shit. It's like that, but it's like an 8mm. I got to get a bunch of stuff to pull old footage off cameras, and then some other stuff. So I wanted to make it with old footage of me when I was like 18, 19, like, the 1999, 2000, 2001, 2, and 3. I used to record a lot of different things, and then old images and pictures and stuff, so that way it would be a conversation, but you would actually see it, because there's a lot of different crazy shit that I might just put it as like this is a fun, like, untrue story, but make it like it's untrue but a true documentary, so that way people don't take it too serious, because there's some crazy stories that some people just straight up won't believe. But that's why I have, like, the proof. So that way I can say, if you want to have fun and believe it, go for it. If you don't, don't hound me about it. Just don't believe it and move on. Because some is just fucking wild. So anyway, yeah, Bob Walking Through the Woods, that was a good song. K. Rooks, I hope I said that right, with a $50 super chat support. You are the man. I've never seen that before, though. MX in front of the 50. I have no idea what that means, but it's a code for something. What about recasting Rick? It will not work. Would that do? I love the portrayal of Andrew Lincoln, and he's been carrying the show for a while, but I'm up for it. I mean, that might work for some people, but for me, it breaks the immersion. Recasting for Rick, in my opinion, is worse than killing him off. It's just not the same. It's not him. Every time I see it, I will look at him and be like, that's not Rick Grimes, that's the recasted actor, and it'll break the immersion for me. And I won't be able to get sucked into the storytelling, and I almost definitely will quit watching, because obviously I can't get into the story when they recast. So if he's in it a lot as the lead, there's going to be a lot of emotional scenes I just won't give a damn about. I don't know. Again, it's different for different people, but for me, it just doesn't work. Epic Vids 8, but thank you very much for that super chat support and hooking it up. Epic Vids 8 with a $2 super chat. Wait, where'd it go? Are we overreacting as fans to this news? I don't think so. I mean, this is the craziest news ever in the history of The Walking Dead. It is insane. It's the biggest news ever. So it's understandable to have all these mixed emotions and be all over the place, I still am in a state of denial a little bit. All right, let's shut her down, because if I keep rambling, I'm never going to get to bed. Yeah, maybe Rick will get under a dumpster somewhere, and we'll be all just fine. Kane says, I say most people are underreacting. Yeah, recasting just doesn't work. All right, guys. If AMC had a budget, they could just CGI Rick. Like Henry Cavill's mustache. Oh God. All right, correct. Let me fix that. CGI would be the worst thing they could do, and then recasting, and then killing him off. John Sullivan with a $5 chat. What if they found an older look-alike to recast, and the time skip happens in the mid-season? Well, again, I'd still have the same reaction, me personally. It's just not, a recast won't work at all. But an older look-alike, and then say there was a time skip, you'd have to skip a lot of time. Plus, they're already skipping time in the beginning, and then they'd have to skip more time, and then they'd have to explain why Rick aged a lot and no one else did. You know what I mean? So that would be tricky. I think that would be more problem than it would solve, just to keep a character with the name. I think a lot of people are connected not just to Rick Grimes, but Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes. You know what I mean? So I don't think that would work either. So remember the deer? It was terrible. I remember the deer. The deer. All right. And that's the thing. D-Man just said, just renegotiate the deal, AMC. Pay the man some more. And that's what I don't get, because it's got to be something else. It has to be either he is downright done with the show, like I can't stand filming anymore, which doesn't make any sense, or there's problems behind the scenes, because it doesn't seem like it's about money, because they turned around and offered Norman Reedus $20 million. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you telling me they can't just be like, I want to leave. Andy, here's $10 million. Just stay. And then he'd be like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's about money. It has to be bad blood behind the scenes. There's got to be something going on. It doesn't make any sense, you know? Sharp Striker said, I'm confused because Andrew seemed so excited about Angela Kang taking charge. Now he's ready to hop off, not even 1 month into filming. Seems like some bad behind-the-scenes drama going on. Exactly, but keep in mind, this drama was back when they were renegotiating their contracts, from what it sounds like. So maybe it is a thing where AMC and Andrew Lincoln got in such a heated, argument over or negotiations, that AMC are just being dicks, and they're like, fine, we'll just pay Norman more if you want to leave. Fuck it, and they won't even renegotiate. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And Harrison, no. I'm probably the least excited for the future of the Walking Dead TV show than I've ever been, and I'm more worried, if anything. To be honest, I mean, I was so excited for season 9, but this news has me more worried than anything. All right, let me read these last couple super chats, and then I can get to bed. Neo Reptile said season 10 last season ? The show can't last now. Well, here's the thing. Even if he goes and the ratings plummet to 2 or 3 million, they're still making profit, so it's still going to continue. Like I said before, what will happen if the show ever does die, or if it dies this soon, what will happen is the ratings will fall, then they'll cut the budget, they'll do another season, the ratings will fall, they'll cut the budget, and they'll do another season, and it'll die slowly. They'll milk it to death. It'll be, season 15, 1 million people are watching, and it is the most pathetic thing you've ever seen. Because they're still making money, so it's barely got any, anything going on but zombies and woods. It'll die slow, because again, this is something they own. They're making money off it, which is something they should really pay attention to, because the brand itself, you don't want to dilute that, because then it'll be worth more money later on. But if you milk it and it dies slow, like it bleeds out, it won't be as valuable later on, unless you do like a soft reboot, which they are already probably planning in some way, shape, or form. D-Man with a $5 super chat. I'm paying you to shut up. Laugh out loud. I don't like hearing that there is no hope. Love you, man. Keep up the great work. Well, fine. I'll shut up. And I never say there is no hope. It's looking gray, but there's never, no hope. Did I say that right? All right, I got to get to bed, or I'll never wake up Juliet. Mega Dr. Dre with a $5 chat. There will be another time skip, and Rick will become Cyborg Rick. Oh, dear God. I'm out. Laura said only 10:21 here. I could keep watching for hours. I wish it was only 10 here, and then I would get a full night's sleep. No, there's not another $50 super chat, is there? Mark Scott. Oh, wait. That might be delayed. I hope I'm not missing any super chats. I'm waiting a few seconds, so no one send any in. I'm waiting just to make sure there's nothing coming in, and then because I don't want someone to say, "Hey, I sent you a chat last week, you didn't read it." Sorry if you already discussed this, but Rick and Maggie only have 6 episodes left. Is it reasonable to expect that they leave dying mid-season? Yeah, I don't know anything about the 6 episodes. I can't fathom why that would be a thing, you know? And so, yeah, maybe they are gone by the mid-season finale. I just don't understand it, you know, story-wise. I don't get it. All right, guys, listen, we will return and have more discussions, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm going to take a little discussion video for those who didn't see the last live stream, and we'll do like a mini discussion because I do want to separate that and hear your thoughts and opinions. So I'm going to try to do that one tomorrow. And then there was something else I wanted to do. I got a couple of videos. So listen, if you didn't know, I did 6 videos. Or no, not 6. Yeah, I did 6 videos over the past 2 days about different things, and we're gonna start doing that. Like when little news comes out, like for example, something about the comic figures came out. It might be like a 1.5-minute video. I'm gonna start putting them up just to see what the fan base is interested in, and just to keep you guys up to date. And eventually, when we get the website going, we might just do short stories on there. And then here might save for the bigger stuff. So keep an eye on the channel because I really want to try to get 2 or 3 videos out tomorrow discussing a zombie movie I had a lot of fun with and some other stuff. So thank you very much for coming out. The mods holding it down. The super chat supports outrageous tonight. Outrageous. Just impressive. Look at this. I'm scrolling down. Just absolutely impressive. Helping holding down. I promise I'm going to get that Streamlabs set up so that way YouTube stops taking, 40% or whatever the hell it is, 35%. And then to Patreon, huge thank you to everyone keeping the channel alive and giving it life to move on into full time, which we're starting at now. So in a few weeks, few months, we're going to have everything rocking and rolling. I'm freaking excited, but I'm going to get going. I love you guys. Have a good night, and I'm going to go cry myself to sleep probably. I'm not lying. Good night.